we are enabling this marketplace of inter-agent communication.
Jay, welcome back. I think it's probably clear now that if there's something at the intersection of Hedera and AI that I don't understand, you're probably going to be getting a DM.
Yeah, man, I was going to say, I've been on here, I think this is the third time, and all AI related, but every time I'm always honored to be invited, and definitely there's going to be a yes coming my way if you ask me again.
All right, well, let's dive into it. First, I want to get into ConvAI. This is something that was announced just last week. I covered it a little bit, but tell us what all the excitement's about.
Yeah, so ConvAI, it's a really interesting standard which has been produced by one of the really key community contributors called Hashgraph Online. Now, just to give a bit of context about Hashgraph Online, they are a DAO in the Hedera ecosystem made up of a consortium of the top projects. So people like NFT, who's obviously founder, is Michael Cantor. He's the president at the Hashgraph Online DAO, but also Hashpack, Kabila, and many others as well. Centex, they're all part of this DAO, and they are pioneering the Hedera consensus service essentially to really maximize what we can do with our native Hedera consensus service, the publish, message, and sort of the messaging service that we have on Hedera. One of the recent standards which they created is a standard called HCS 10, which is essentially, it gives the ability for AI agents, in particular autonomous AI agents, to actually communicate with each other. And to the extent of it allows AI agents to actually search which AI agents are available to be communicated with, and then send them messages, create their own topic, their own Hedera consensus topic, to send messages securely back and forth, essentially enabling a communication protocol for AI agents to communicate with each other in a totally decentralized way using the native Hedera token service. Hedera consensus service.
The consensus service. All right. So, I mean, one of the things I saw that there was monetization involved. How can developers and users leverage this new technology to enhance their products?
Yeah. So it's really interesting you brought that up. And actually, that's where the Hedera token service comes in. So one of the new HIPs, which was recently just added to the Hedera mainnet, is a HIP called HIP 991. And I'll give a bit of a background as to what a HIP is. So a HIP is a Hedera improvement proposal. Obviously, Hedera is source code which is being continually improved. When Lehman first came out with it years and years ago, it wasn't, okay, this is perfect, let's move on and just focus on making it business ready. No, we're constantly improving, and obviously the code has actually been handed over to Hyro. So separate point, if you want to sort of get involved in these continuous improvements of Hedera, head over to Hyro and you can actually get involved there. But one of these new improvements which was made to the core infrastructure was HIP 991. Now, this was also pioneered by Michael Cantor, president at the Hashgraph Online DAO, as well as one of the guys internally at Hashgraph, Patches, or Ty, but Patches as he's more commonly known. And what this HIP enables is really interesting, and it's particularly relevant with ConvAI and HCS 10. Essentially, it allows a Hedera consensus topic to have a fee schedule on it. Now, what does that mean? So we already have the ability to create custom fees on normal non-fungible tokens and fungible tokens, meaning I can create a fungible token or non-fungible token in which whenever I transfer it, say it's an NFT, I can create a royalty fee attached to that token. So if I transfer it for 100 HBAR, I might have a royalty fee which says, okay, 10% of that goes to X account. A similar concept has been added onto consensus topics, where traditionally a consensus topic, to submit a message onto that topic, it costs 1/100 of a cent, something to that sort of, I think that's right, you're nodding your head, I think that is correct. Basically it's really cheap. But now with HIP 991, what we can do is we can go, okay, you pay this normal message submit fee, but actually we can have another fee, a custom fee on top of that consensus topic, meaning in order to submit a message, you need to pay the base 100th of a cent fee, as well as potentially a 5 USDC fee. So they can be priced in HBAR, or it can be priced in any token that you want. And what this enables is it allows the ability for proof of payment of a particular message. So you can have an AI agent, let's say an AI agent which is communicating to another AI agent using HCS 10 or OpenConvAI, and it can communicate to that other message, it can communicate to the other agent, submit a message, and when that agent receives the first agent's message, the outbound message, it knows, okay, this AI agent, or technically this human as well, has paid 10 USDC. So that message can only be received if that money, if that HTS token has been received or HBAR token been received, which essentially allows this element of trust. Okay, this message has been paid for. Now I can execute it. Now I can call this particular agentic tool and then send a response back to it. And why that's really interesting is because, again, using the native layer 1 Hedera token service and the native Hedera layer 1 Hedera consensus service, we are enabling this marketplace of inter-agent communication. There's no fancy centralized logic built on top where we have to sort of abstract it away from the core layer 1. All of this is native, and I think that's where it's really powerful, because we'll see true decentralization as well as the lowest fees possible.
It's really incredible with this, what we're seeing with ConvAI, of course, Equity Lab embedding Hedera technology directly in NVIDIA and Intel chips. I'm not surprised that we have all of this focus on the AI space and the intersection of Hedera. Now, we also have something going on right now or coming up very shortly in the hackathon that is going to be focused purely on AI. Now, we had a hackathon last year that also had a big focus on AI, but not exclusively. Can you tell us a little bit about this hackathon?
Yeah, so I think what I'll do first is I'll go a bit into the why, as to why I'm doing this hackathon. And it's purely just because this AI space is moving so fast. I mean, you mentioned we had our Hello Future 2 hackathon, which was earlier in, I think, sort of September, October it was running, around that time of the year. But AI agents had not had nearly the amount of impact that they've had now. And because this AI space is moving so fast, we really need to sort of get involved in it now. And obviously, we've been building our support on the AI agent side. We've been building support for the ELIZA plugin. So that's something which developers can use now. There's a Hedera ELIZA plugin, which you can use into your ELIZA agents. We've got support for LangChain and LangGraph agents, the Hedera agent kit. There's a lot of stuff there. And we were like, okay, we've been building all of this infrastructure. Now it's time to put it in the hands of developers, put it in the hands of builders to actually use it to build the next generation applications. Another example of these tools which we've been working on is, of course, HCS 10, the Open Convey standard, which I was sort of explaining earlier. But basically, we're at a pretty mature place in time where we've got the tooling, we've got the resources. Now it's up to the devs, now it's up to the community to make use of these to the max. And really start, obviously, just putting it into practice, getting these dApps which use the latest AI technologies, and getting their fair reimbursement for it, for the quality that's produced.
Yeah, there's some significant prizes for this, $30,000 in prizes. What would you suggest to teams and developers that are looking to participate? What would you suggest to them to have the best chance of success?
Yeah, so I think for me, one of the use cases that we talk about internally a lot is lowering that barrier to entry, or lowering that friction, particularly when it comes to dealing with or interacting with complex DeFi protocols. Now, a lot of us are in sort of this Web3 bubble where, okay, we've been using decentralized exchanges for the last 3 years and we don't have any problem with it at all. Or we don't have any problem with concepts like staking and concepts like providing liquidity. But actually, these are pretty challenging concepts to sort of get to know when you first get into it. So if we can have AI agents which connect to a person's wallet, and again, we have the tech for this. If we have AI agents where you can basically, using a chat interface, which is probably the most popular interface at the moment and definitely will be over the next few years, to basically go, okay, I've got X amount of HBAR in my account, I've got a high risk profile, what can I do with this? And then it might come back and say, okay, with this, you can go over to this DEX and you can swap for this token, you can provide liquidity to that pool, or you can go over to Bonzo and you can borrow some stuff and whatever. And it creates this sort of strategy for you and then executes it once you've said, yeah, I'm happy with that. That would be a pretty interesting use case. It's sort of, it's been done in other ecosystems, not really, really well, but it has been done, and that would be something which is awesome. I think on the other side of things, also contributing to the existing tools that we have, or building net new tools. Again, the AI space is so fast. I mean, we're doing our best to sort of keep up to pace, but of course, there's going to be new features, new things which didn't exist 2 weeks ago that we cannot create like that. We're focusing on the core stuff. If, for example, you've got a really amazing idea as to there's a new trend in AI which Hedera could jump on, and you build that sort of developer tooling for it, that would also be definitely highly rewarded.
All right. Well, that's great advice. And of course, if anybody has any questions, they can reach out to the DevRel team over there at Hashgraph, and I'm sure you'll be able to get them on the right track. And like you said, this space is moving so fast, so don't be surprised if you get another DM from me pretty soon.
Appreciate it, man. Really, thanks again for having me, Brendan. And again, doors always open.
I'm now posting these interviews of Hedera builders independently to my channel. The community, influencers, and media outlets are free to use this content to spread the word on what's being built on Hedera. Once they're all uploaded, you'll be able to go to my channel and search for whatever topic or team you're interested in to find more information. Or you'll be able to get the most recent Hedera news by watching the latest HBAR Weekly update. So check them out.